Wow, Tyson Dukes, mentor, lot to look up to, lot to say, lot to offer. He's a really cool guy. I'm glad he could stop in with us. We're right back on schedule now. I'm going to try to bring in my man, Evan Husney, who just hopped on, but I have a really special song for him. So I want him to see this. I can't wait. I'm really stoked. I think he's going to like this one. I thought about this a great deal this afternoon while busy in quarantine, and I think he's going to really approve. Let's see if I can bring it out here. Wow, this is going to be a real snapper, Evan. Here we go. Wait for it. We're going to let the YouTube ad play first. I don't want to bore you with that. Oh, here we go. I'm so stoked to see what he has to say about this. Dude.
That's amazing.
Tell me that's not a good one.
That's a good one. Thank
that
you.
That was a good one. You got me on quite
God.
the streak there with your snapper bracket tournament.
Yeah, man. We got to have the snapper bracket tournament. Thanks for joining. Let me make sure my hair looks okay. What's up?
Our big takeaway from ours was fear.
Fear?
Do you remember Fear?
Yeah, of course.
I had never seen it. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable.
Did you you watched it because of the tournament?
Well, we went on a snapper binge. I had to do it. You know, every had an ounce of snapper quality. I was into it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Here, you know? The crown.
Yo, what up, Brandon?
Oh, there he is. Wow, it must be a crazy couple weeks for you. Why don't you tell us how it's been?
Oh man, it's been crazy. Just my feedback in there. I'll turn myself down.
You sound great to me.
Okay, cool.
You look handsome too, I might add.
Oh, thank you.
Very regal, yes.
Do you like my painting I found in the garbage?
Is that a self-portrait?
Yeah, that is.
That's a beautiful shot. It might even be. Hold on. What does everyone think?
Yeah, Not it's bad. Pretty good.
Not bad.
It's pretty good. No, man. It's been pretty busy here. I mean, we're still finishing the show. It's not done yet.
Totally.
So we've been finishing the show. We're almost done. We just recorded the last voiceover with Chris Jericho yesterday.
Beautiful.
Yep. He mentioned your tweet.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was like, he thought it was super cool because I don't think he's ever had anyone play him before. You know?
Well, I mean, I was just so privileged that you guys let me have the opportunity. I thought it was killer. I just sent him back a tweet to that exact one today, trying to get him on live with me. So we'll see if maybe you put it in the work. We'll get him on here.
Yeah.
You know, so many questions I want to ask you. Part of what I've come to love in my adult life is that I find that history is totally alive. And one of the things that I think your show does so well is that it brings to life and brings new light on so many dark side issues that haven't been looked at for a lot of years and swept under the rug. Yeah. How do you go about letting a story unfold, and what is your selection process when you're looking for a new story?
Well, when we started doing this, we just kind of thought it would just be the Bruiser Brody episode.
Really?
Do like a one documentary, like a one and done, and then it kind of evolved into a full series when Vice wanted us to do like a full season of all these different stories. So then we just looked at different stories that have happened in the wrestling business. It wasn't like the idea to do only tragic stories, but it was like, let's do stories where like, because what's so fascinating about the Bruiser Brody thing is like the lines between reality and fiction were blurred in this like murder story. So we really wanted to look at other episodes that, or other stories that could kind of cover that same theme of like wrestling meeting reality and fiction and where those lines blur.
Right.
And most of the stories we cover kind of do go back to that theme. And so we just kind of looked all through the history of wrestling, what stories, you know, kind of check that box. And that's kind of where we found ourselves.
Well, I get to have the unique perspective of being a wrestler myself and getting that back into the back side of the business. So sometimes when I'm listening to some of the stories, you know, I have my own questions and I wonder, how do you deal with when you find that maybe people on the show you're doing are over sensationalizing or maybe leading you astray, or you know, at what point do you cut bait and say that this is not working out?
Never had to really do that, but you know, I mean, because you're interviewing a lot of people who, you know, been in such a protected business in wrestling, you know, everybody, you know, sometimes you might not get the most truthful answer, or sometimes, you know, you have to really like think after the interview, like, was that true or not? And you try and corroborate it with somebody else, and then someone says no, they're lying. And so we just at a certain point kind of established in the Bruiser Brody episode is that we're just going to go with it. Like if there's
Right.
conflicting stories or
Yes.
conflicting things of events, unless they're major allegations,
Right.
we'll just kind of let them
And
be
that's
something like that.
part of what I love about the show is that I often find that you're presenting information and letting the fans and the viewers make their own conclusions.
Yeah, we always try to do that. We try to handle the stories as respectfully as we can, and then we always kind of want people to. We always leave people kind of at the end of each episode with kind of drawing their own conclusions. And I think with a lot of the stories, people do have their own theories, their own takes. They like it or they don't, or they think something wasn't truthful, and we like that. We like that people kind of have their own perspective on each of the stories.
One of the words that I find keeps coming up in and around your show is healing. What does it mean to you that your work is providing healing qualities to so many?
Man, it's the most rewarding part of making the show, honestly, and I'm not just saying that. Like, it's been a lot of the interviews we've done have been really emotional. The experiences overall have been really emotional, and it's cool to see people like the show and respond positively to it. But I think just working with a lot of the people, a lot of the family members that we've worked with over the course of all these 16 episodes, and kind of seeing them have some more catharsis or closure around some of these stories is just like the most humbling aspect of the whole thing. And that was a huge part of us for season 1, and obviously with some of the heavier stories that we're covering in season 2.
Well, you've had immense success now with this 6th season. It's only getting bigger. What motivations do you have next creatively?
For the next go around?
Yeah.
Oh man, well, it's tricky. It's hard to even see that far in the future right now. Because we don't know what the future of the world is.
Sure.
Especially with production, you don't know what's going to happen. When are people going to be able to travel again? Things like that. And we're just literally trying to finish season 2 still. So we haven't gotten to that point where we can rest, because I want to rest. I definitely want to take like a couple naps.
Sure,
after season 2, and then kind of regroup and figure out what we want to do. I mean, a lot of obviously we haven't even finished season 2, and people are like, season 3. So we gotta wrap our heads around that.
I had the good fortune of shooting with you guys over the course of 3 days. We had a lot of fun together. Was there anything on the show that was super hard to shoot, super shots that were hard to achieve, things that you couldn't really make work? Was there any difficulties with that?
Well, shooting in the studio, like the stuff that we did, is some of the most fun stuff we get to do, because it's like something we get to control, and we get to mark out in crazy ways, as you know.
Sure. You get to wear the shoulder pads.
You're right. You get to wear the shoulder pads. You get to take the bumps that you shouldn't be taking, because I'm not a trained professional, which I've done many times and should never do. And we get to control everything, which is good. Once you're out in the field and you're doing documentary stuff and you're traveling with like 11, boxes that are, over 70 pounds each, and you're just having to, it's like being a band on the road, essentially, is what it's like for us.
Sure.
So a lot of shit can go wrong there, and that's hard. And also it's hard to get, it's just hard to get everybody together to tell a story and on the same page, and getting people to trust you and all that stuff. It's always a challenge, but we just try and be as sincere as we can, and and we are fans. We love wrestling, so we're not trying to destroy it.
Well, I think you're touching on a great subject here, which I think is interesting to some viewers, which are, as a documentarian, they might not think of a documentary as having a writer, so to say, as it's not a piece of fiction.
Right.
What is the process of writing a documentary?
Yeah, so that's the task that myself and a couple other folks have on the show, which is, you're basically given a set amount of time. Like every episode, except for the Chris Benoit episodes, it's 1 hour of television. So it's about 44 minutes. So we have to figure out how the story is going to break down into that amount of time for 5 different commercial breaks. And it does require a lot of writing, because you have to weave, you have to make sure the story makes sense in an arc, and it's tough. Sure. And that's actually the hardest part of the show. The hardest part of the show is like cutting things out, because
like withholding information so that they're shocking at the end.
No. I mean, like, you have to cut everything down to 44 minutes. Like sometimes our first cut of an episode will be like an hour and something, and so it's like it's it's tricky. So, so there's a lot of difficult decisions we've had to make on like awesome things we've had to cut out of episodes because we had to
Right.
do it for time, and that sucks. But you have to tell a story, and we always try and tell the story so it's accessible to everyone because wrestling is such a, like it's such a like has such a rabid fan base of like hardcore fans, and
It can be a niche medium.
yes, but you have to make sure like anyone can sit down and watch any of these
Yeah.
episodes and get it. But
Right.
then also the most hardcore fan will like it too and respect it. So you have to kind of
Right.
consider both those things too when you're making it.
Well,
It's hard. It's a challenge.
you're talking about hardcore fans. You mentioned yourself. There's a hardcore fan in you. What are some dream gets for you in the future? Some dream projects you'd like to work on, people you'd like to work with that you haven't yet?
Oh my God. Well, if we do the show again, there's a ton of amazing people that obviously in wrestling that we have never interviewed. Just because whether it's like a story that hasn't lined up or we just haven't found a use for them yet. Like
Right.
someone like Ric Flair, I would love to get in the
Sure.
show. Like,
There's got to be a nefarious story that involves Ric Flair.
well, yeah, I'm sure.
At least.
Yeah.
Or, well, wasn't he there when Brody got?
No, he sort of said he was, but.
Okay. Right. Okay. That's it. There's
Yeah.
the over sensationalizing we were talking about earlier.
There you go. That's my understanding. And then, but yeah, he'd be great to get. We'd love to talk to. Oh man, there's so many. Like we'd love to do more Japanese wrestling stories because we've never really had a chance to do
Sure.
that, or had the budget to go over to Japan.
You haven't worked with Onita at all.
No, I mean that would be an amazing. FMW would be incredible. Oh yeah, that's right. For the wrestlers, they did the other Vice show.
Deathmatch wrestlers. That was a really cool episode myself. Deathmatch wrestler Channing Decker.
There you go. Right.
That's it. Deathmatch fighter.
Yeah, and man, there's so many others. I don't know, tons. And so if we do get another opportunity to make more episodes, there's no shortage of stories, and there's no shortage of people that we'd love to talk to for sure.
I was talking to a good friend of mine in Montreal. He runs a promotion, Battle War, James.
I love Battle War.
So it wasn't Jason. It was both of you, or just you that went to Battle War back in the day?
Oh, both of us went to Battle War.
Were you living in Montreal at the time?
No, we used to go to Montreal all the time for the Fantasia Film Festival. There was a film festival up there.
Mentioned that actually. That's right.
Yeah, and it always would overlap with Battle War, and we were at Battle War for Kevin Steen's last indie wrestling match before he went to NXT.
Who was it against? Do you recall?
Oh, I don't remember.
Was it Big Magic? Fans, if you're listening, please type in. That would be great. I'd love to see that.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna guess Big Magic.
But he was there, and honestly, I didn't know. I wasn't like plugged into the indie wrestling scene that much at that time, and so I was like, this dude's a big deal. And then all of a sudden, he became a huge deal.
Yeah, and Fufuni Electrique, no less, which some fans don't know. The ceiling for the fans is about 10 feet high. It's a little punk rock bar in Montreal. It's wicked.
It's a great show.
It's one of my favorite shows to perform on. I get to do that every month. Well, at least
do you really?
Yeah. I'm there every month. They got a great show. Fits what I do. Twiggy said that he saw me throw a guy down a flight of stairs once, and he knew that I had to be booked on every show after that.
That's cool. No, those guys are great.
Totally, man. Well, you know what? We're at the perfect time for me to say thank you for your time because, man, we could talk all night. You got so much to offer and share in that mind of yours. I just can't congratulate you enough on your success. We love watching your work. Please keep it up and continue to challenge yourself, bro. We love you, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You take care of it. Thanks for coming.
See ya. Yeah.
Wow. Executive producer, writer, Evan Husney, Dark Side of the Ring. He's a really cool dude. I'm so stoked that we had him here. And of course, if you've been with us the whole time, you know what time it is now. We are right about that time where we're going to be welcoming the man himself. Put up your X's, Mr. 187, New Jack. I had a chance to talk to him earlier. He's super excited to talk to you guys. He loves what's going on right now with Dark Side of the Ring and all of that. This is a cool opportunity. We don't normally get things like this to do. This guy is white hot right now, you know what I mean? With wrestling being on pause, in a lot of ways, Dark Side of the Ring is the shining star of pro wrestling right now, and there may not be a hotter pro wrestler in the world in that regard than New Jack. So I'm so excited to talk to him, pick his brain. I'm just gonna make sure I get in touch with him now to line that up. You know what I mean? We got half an hour left on this particular episode, so why not we fill it as much as we can? I'm gonna see if I can get him on a little early for us too. I think that would be great. Let's see if we can find him here. Let's try to bring the brother up now.